I'd like to share a little about our mission trip to Haiti over Christmas break. You can see Haiti on the map, which is only 700 miles from Miami, Florida. We flew into Port-au-Prince, which is where you see the star. Our flight happened to be booked in first class, so we got 2 free check bags each. All of them were at the max weight of 52 pounds with all the church donations. The flight from Boston to JFK was only about 30 minutes, and then another 4 hours to Haiti. Our travel was flawless, on our way to Haiti anyway. Our flight circled for about 20 minutes before landing, so we got some spectacular views of the ocean and mountains of Haiti. You also see the airport in Port-au-Prince in this slide. A large group of Haitians greeted us inside the airport with some wonderful music. I'd expected our bags to have been picked through, but it appeared nothing at all was missing. Pastor Kevin Groder met us at baggage claim. He's the missionary who recently moved from Merrimack to Haiti to work full-time at Mission of Hope International. We got a porter to help us with our large bags to get to the car, and there were large crowds of people waiting outside the gate, I assume for loved ones flying home. Ricardo was waiting for us at the car, and he drove us to Grand Goave, where we would be serving. Driving was crazy. Everyone goes like 75 or 80 miles an hour. They pass when there's no room and beep loudly to warn pedestrians and other vehicles to get out of the way. These are some of the views along the way. You see ladies carrying sacks on their heads, carrying bananas, and one of the large public buses that carry hordes of people. The buildings that say bank aren't banks. They are places to play the lottery. They're all over the place, sometimes several on a block. There aren't actually any banks. In fact, there's very little infrastructure in Haiti. There's no mail system. There's very unregulated electricity, resulting in a lot of electrical surges. There's no waste management. There's no law enforcement. These pictures were taken in the immediate neighborhood of Mission of Hope sleeping quarters. You see an interesting contrast between some of the beautiful flowers and coconut palms and trash dumped all along the riverbed because there's no waste management system. One of their neighbors had clothes lined to dry clothes, but this other neighbor dried their clothes on rocks. You also see some reconstruction on a neighbor's home. Even though the earthquake was 4 years ago, in January 2010, much of Haiti is still being rebuilt. The mission living quarters are like a retreat for missionaries after a long day of work. We ate all our meals here in the Shikun, which also served as an evening hangout. They have dorm rooms for large mission groups, but we stayed in the bungalows since it was just 2 of us. The mission living quarters are gated and protected by guard dogs to prevent theft and maintain privacy for the mission groups. It's hard for missionaries not to invite people in, but when you make one exception, things can get out of hand quickly and even cause a riot. On Friday, our first full day in Haiti, Kevin had business in town, so asked us to stay at the living quarters until after lunch. We decided to take a walk up the beach and said bonjour to a little boy who was just hanging out. Faith ran and got some of the loom bands that we had brought and invited him over to make a bracelet. Soon we were joined by some other kids. It was great putting some Creole into practice, like "Ou tarame feli," which means "would you like to make this?" On Sunday morning, we went to a church in the beautiful mountains of Saint Etienne. It was a 45-minute drive up steep terrain. This is where we presented the banner made by our youth group, which they really loved. We were late, so when we came in, people stared at us, being the only white folks there, which they called blanc. The adults turned away quickly, but the kids kept gawking at us. We invited them to come over to us, and they spent most of worship on our laps and holding our hands. They were so cute. The music was incredibly loud, even though they only had vocalists. Pastor Kevin preached with a translator, and worship lasted another 2 hours after we arrived. On Monday, we began our ministry at the Mission of Hope headquarters. It's about a 15-minute drive, maybe 2 miles, from the mission living quarters. You can walk, but it's very hot and dusty, so we drove. The mission hosts a church, school, medical clinic, and will be starting a dental clinic soon. They're also in partnership with several orphanages and churches. The facility had been destroyed in the earthquake, so it's been completely rebuilt. One of our projects was to organize and sort the medications we brought. Also, the shelves were disorganized and very dirty, so we helped clean and organize in preparation for a large medical team of doctors who would be arriving the week after we were there. Sorting donated clothes was our biggest mission project, which took about 3 days. A church in Maine donated several barrels of new clothes, which we sorted into kid sizes, small, medium, and large, and then placed in gift bags. We also sorted some other clothes donations, many of which were in awful shape and also were inappropriate for Haiti, such as winter pants and sweaters, so we didn't include these. When we were finished, we put all in the gift bags into suitcases to bring up to an orphanage in the mountains. This is the orphanage, the Good Samaritan orphanage, which was completely destroyed in the earthquake, but apparently not one person was hurt. The kids ran out to meet us and clung to us like we were magnets. You see 2 of the children leading Faith down the hill to show her the church. And then they gathered all the kids into one of the classrooms. They invited me to lead a prayer in English for the kids to repeat after each line. Since these kids are in school, they are learning English. I also gave out postcards with a painting I've done with John 8:12 in Creole. And Faith and I taught kids how to make loom band bracelets. Got a little out of hand. Kids started to steal bags. In another building, other adults were handing out the clothes donations, and this also got out of hand, I heard. At the end of the week, Faith and I donated all our skirts we'd brought for the trip to this orphanage. Girls don't wear pants very often in Haiti and generally wear knee-length skirts. Loom bands were popular wherever we went. The kids had never seen them before, and we taught them 2 different kinds of bracelet designs you can make just using your fingers. Kids at first wanted us to make these bracelets for them. This is part of the begging culture there, but we insisted on teaching kids to make their own and encouraged them to give them away or to trade them. School wasn't in session due to Christmas and New Year's break, but there were plenty of kids they found for us to teach. In addition to loom bands, we brought 4 large rolls of duct tape and taught them to make wallets and purses. One boy even made a backpack. Rather than throw out leftover pieces, we made them into softballs to toss around, and one boy used some duct tape to repair his bike. The EXO laptops were designed so you buy one and another goes to a third world country. The program is called One Laptop Per Child. Mission of Hope is one of the organizations to receive a load of these laptops. We got to meet Sora, who works for the laptop company, and was there a few days to continue the implementation process and check in on their progress. Faith has one of these laptops at home and had fun playing games with the other kids. We also brought nail polish with us and painted kids' nails. Selena and Faith painted their nails to match, with one hand red and the other pink. Some of the boys wanted their nails done too. The Mission of Hope semi-annual pastors' conference was scheduled during the end of our stay. There were 2 guest preachers from Westminster, Massachusetts. Kevin wanted me to lead 2 workshops for the pastors' wives. I taught 1 workshop each day, each about an hour and a half. The first was on staying close to God, and the second was on preparing to lead a Bible study. Our trip wasn't all work and no play, though. We had plenty of downtime most afternoons. We hung out. I downloaded photos and checked in on Facebook if there was electricity. We swam and collected shells. We even watched 2 movies, and Kevin is a martial arts teacher, so Faith joined his class one night. Now 2 people from the Arison people have beat him up, as I first met Kevin at Tokyo Joe's in Salisbury at a self-defense class. There are lizards all over the place in Haiti. Faith's love of reptiles inspired a lot of interest and conversation. Most Haitians don't like reptiles, so seeing a little girl pick them up was a new experience for them. But the kids were more open to petting lizards than the adults. When Faith showed one kid a lizard she'd caught, he went and caught a crab to show her. We never attended Sunday worship at Mission of Hope, so there aren't any photos of that. We did attend worship there during the pastors' conference, though. It was even louder than worship up in the mountains. There were huge speakers and a large praise band with multiple vocalists, 2 bass guitars, drum, and keyboards. The guest preachers were from the Assemblies of God denomination, so centered around healing and anointing, and was very high-energy worship. I got plenty of quiet worship time on the beach at sunrise, though. The sun coming up over the mountains was an incredible sight. Making crafts was really fun, but just meeting people on the beach and trying to converse in Creole was the most meaningful time for me. I gave out 500 painting cards to people in the church, but also many to people I just met on the beach. I met Barnabas this way, as he said he was a painter. After seeing my card, he asked for 20 more. A few days later, I saw him, and he said he'd been giving them out and preaching the gospel with them, that Jesus is the light in our darkness. We had a great conversation in Creole, how preaching the gospel wasn't just for pastors. I bought a painting from him, like you see in the photo here, and 3 painted shells. The average income in Haiti is $2 a day, so this was $35 for him. I asked him what he'd do with the money. I told him about John Wesley and his advice for money: earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. But spending all you can is much easier, which we laughed about. We also loved walking on the beach and found beautiful shells. We met kids from families doing laundry in the river. Many children only have one set of clothes. This one kid's clothes were probably being washed, so she was just wearing underwear. After introducing everyone and getting everyone's age, I told the girl with the cupcake-shaped shirt that I liked her shirt. Then I said, "Ta vraiment manger-li," and pretended to eat her cupcake. She was in hysterics, laughing. I also spoke to a horse. I neighed at this mare and her foal, and they neighed back. I wonder if between faith-catching lizards and me talking with horses, if the people of Haiti think all Americans are this strange. After 10 days in Haiti, we really didn't want to leave. In fact, we are already planning our next trip. It cost about $1,500, about $900 for the flight, $500 for 10 nights room and board, and $100 for spending money. Faith has begun selling duct tape purses and wallets similar to those we made in Haiti to help raise money so she can go again.